Welcome to GBC Updates for Friday, the 31st of July. There are a few things to let you know about, a few of which were talked about last week in our mid-year meeting. Thank you to all of you who logged in and were part of our first digital mid-year meeting. A number of people have asked me how I thought it went, and while it was a little bit hard for me to judge, I felt that it went as well as it could be expected. I suppose if I can make the joke, it was the best digital mid-year meeting we have ever had as a church. Being our first and only, it went pretty well. Thank you if you were a part of that, read the paperwork beforehand, participated in that to help us kind of move forward as a community of faith. But in the paperwork in particular, which is still available for you if you would like on GBC Links, we introduced a couple of things that I want to just follow up here briefly now. The first of them is that we are really encouraging people to get involved in life groups. We feel that particularly right now, given the restrictions on our gathering together, that we need to invest significantly into our life group space to try to create in that space a place of connection and discipleship and care. And so as I said last Sunday in that meeting, I want to encourage you again, if you are in a life group already, can I just urge you to make that a priority each and every week. Make that the one thing you just don't want to miss in order that we can remain connected to each other. If you are not in a group and would like to be, I would encourage you to begin to work with us to find you a group. This is going to be a bit of a delicate dance because we have a bunch of groups and many of them have capacity and space for new people. But if everyone who's not in a group says, yes, I'm in, we're going to struggle to find groups for you. So if you can let us know that you're interested, there is a form that you can fill in on GBC Links to let us know when you're available. There's also now a groups page. So if you go into GBC Links under the Life Groups tab, there's a groups page. And that tells you all the various groups that we have, when they meet, who the leader is, and allows you to kind of express interest and make contact with them about connecting with them. We're going to try to work out as many groups and start some groups as soon as we can. One of the things that's going to make that a lot easier is if we have people who are willing to lead them. So if you have experience in leading a group and haven't led one for a while but would like to, if you are hearing the invitation of God to step into that space, or if you think, maybe this is what God's calling me to and I'd love some support in that, we'd love to talk to you as well. So you can express interest to Marc Coleman or Brett Robinson in particular about being involved in leading a group. We would love for you to be involved, and we'd love for as many people as possible to be in life groups in order that we can have that sense of connection and focus on discipleship that's just become a little bit more difficult in the midst of these restrictions. In a similar way, as I mentioned last week, we appointed a Pastoral Selection Committee, a committee who's tasked with the job of nominating a number of elders at our end-of-year meeting, our AGM, in November. We are looking to appoint between 2 and 4 elders, although we're not too fussed about how many. If God raises up more, then we'll think about more. But that committee is open now and will require some nominations. So if you know people who are pastorally oriented, who have a real heart for other people, want to be a part of our overall leadership as we seek to care for our community of faith, we'd love for you to nominate them. And if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about it, we'll make sure the role description is on GBC Links for you as well, so that you can actually have a bit of a look at that and think about who you might seek to nominate for that position. We'll be bringing those names, as I said, in November, but nominations are now open. We also mentioned briefly on Sunday that we are now really beginning to bring our policies into our practice to make sure that there's some alignment there, particularly around safe churches. And if you're one of our volunteers here at GBC, and there's over 350 of you, you will be receiving an email, you may already have received it, asking you to go through the eligibility process of safe churches. That was all explained in the paperwork, and the email will have explained that to you again. I just want to stress how important it is for all of our volunteers to do that. This is not one of those optional extras. This is part of what it means for us to be trustworthy. It's also part of our legal requirement. And so it's really helpful for us if you will kind of take the time and take between 5 and 10 minutes for you to respond to that email. With 350 volunteers, we don't want to spend the next several months chasing all of you 4 or 5 times. We'll do some follow-up, but it'd be really helpful for us if you would lean into that space and fill that in as quickly as possible so we can start the process of getting all of our volunteers up to speed on our safe church policies. And just finally, for those of you who have youth-aged children, you know that our youth programs have gone back this term face-to-face, and Matt and the team have done a great job of doing that in a COVID-safe way. Our Playtime ministries are getting closer to going back as well. Medwin and the team are going to be meeting to finalize some of their plans around what it's going to look like for them to do that safely. And there's a whole bunch of issues about the number of people that they can host on site, as well as implications for cleaning toys and all of those sorts of things to work through. And they're getting much closer. So if you've been kind of hanging out for Playtime to go back, trust me, it's getting close. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to let you know that Playtime's back and to let you know the plan that we have in place to do that safely. I do encourage you to continue to live safely, to not be complacent as we continue to be part of the wider citizenship of Australia and try to do the best that we can by those around us. And again, hope to see you on Sunday at one of our online services at 8:30, 10:30, or 6 p.m. And as I encourage you each week, we would love if you would jump onto the chat feed, even just at the beginning, and say good day. It's so nice to see names of people who are tuning in. It's so good to be able to picture you in your homes, in your with your families around you, to kind of remember where you would sit on a normal Sunday and be encouraged by your presence. So hope to see you at one of those services, and until then, God bless.